The Long Haul Podcast, America's Irish voice. Interviews with inspiring immigrants, renowned Irish personalities, and discussions on all things Irish America. Presented by Michael Dorgan. Welcome along to this week's edition of the Long Haul Podcast, and we hope you're all enjoying the Christmas break. New York has not played competitively at senior intercounty level since 2006, but that will all change on Monday when the Exiles take part in the Connacht Senior Hurling League. New York Hurling Division Chair Richie Hartnett, who is also manager of the team, returns to the show to discuss the county's preparations ahead of the competition. Richie gives me an insight into how training has been going, the importance of the tournament to hurling's development in New York, and the fundraising effort to finance the trip. New York play Longford in the quarterfinals Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Irish time at the Connacht GAA Air Dome in Mayo. The game will be live streamed on the Connacht GAA website. New York mourned the passing of Donegal club stalwart Donald Gallagher recently. The Killybegs native steered the club to 6 senior county titles in a managerial career that spanned 3 decades. We have a story about Donald on our website, thelonghaulpodcast.com, that also contains a podcast we did with Donald about 2 years ago, where he discusses how he brought Larry Tompkins to New York in the 1980s during a golden era of football in the Big Apple. There's also a story about the latest on what appears to be the saving of the American Irish Historical Society building on Fifth Avenue after a massive public outcry and a petition that many of you may have signed. We also did a podcast on that story last year, and there's a link to that show below and on our website. And now, onto the podcast with Richie. So I'm here with Richie Hartnett, the Ballyhaig man from Kerry.
That's it. Oh, you got it right this time.
Who's currently the New York Senior Hurling Manager for this year and is also the New York Hurling Division Chair. Richie, thanks for coming back onto the podcast. You were here over the summer. Congratulations, first of all. Waterford were victorious in a classic, you have to say. It was one for the ages, the county final here over the summer. Yourselves, Waterford, beat out Hoboken after extra time.
Yeah, it was nearly as good as the World Cup final, Mike.
Almost.
Yeah, it had everything. Like, it had, we equalised down 3 points, equalised with 23 seconds left. There was a bit of controversy in the middle of the game about a goal that was going to be disallowed, and that took a few minutes. And then it went to extra time, and I guess, the first half was close again, but I guess the second half we kicked on and ended up winning by the 4 points. And like I said to, a couple of people I talked to after the game, we had a 19-year-old playing that game. He scored 4 goals in the final. Like, some achievement, not just singling out anyone, because it was a total team effort from the subs we brought in. Like, we used all our 5 subs, and every one of them gave their all when they came on, and it was a total team effort, and that's kind of what we tried to drill into the boys throughout the whole year. And it came to force in the final.
It just goes to show, Richie, the standard of hurling is very good in New York, and that kind of gives credibility to the fact that you're now looking to take part. You're trying to take it a step further, and you've already established a senior hurling team, the first since 2006, really, to go back to Ireland to play in the Connacht League. Tell us, you were on the podcast over the summer. That was the aim. You're after getting there. So where does things stand now? You happy that you got into the league, and how important is it that you did finally get into the league?
Yeah, I guess, look, the standard here is great, and anyone that watched the final, the messages from home, of the game. Sorry, not to be going back to the game again, but the people in the bars at 12 o'clock at home in Ireland watching the game, live feed, like, it was, the videos we got were mental. Like, it was great to see. But getting back to,
it's a great thing for the live stream as well, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, because there's so many counties at home invested in all the different players. There's people watching all over Ireland, inside in their own houses, in bars, wherever they can live stream it. It was unbelievable. The videos, like, they'd make you emotional watching them. Like, it's class. But yeah, so our aim, like last time I was on, is to try and get into a Laurie Maher competition. something like that. And we met with Connacht Council after I spoke to you, and Damien Coleman came over and we met in my office and we sat down and we talked about the possibility of the Lorry Matter. And, we were getting close before COVID, and then COVID hit and it kind of put a dent on it. But
yeah,
since we came back to a bit of normality, Damien had mentioned, they had started the Connacht Hurling League, and he said it would be a great stepping stone for you guys to, put a foothold in Ireland again, send the team home, show that you can compete, and, hopefully the following year, or maybe we have to do this for 2 years, and the third year we get into something like the Lorry Matter. But just to show that we have the boys that can travel and that we can compete, so that's the whole aim of what we're trying to do here in January. Go home and, at least compete, if not win the competition.
Yeah, so there's Longford, Galway Development Squad, Leitrim, Roscommon, Sligo and Mayo. Am I right there?
Yeah, there's 7, yeah. There's 7 teams in it, Mike. So there's there's the 5 from Connacht, Longford and ourselves.
And so someone who would be at different stages, the Galway Development team would be kind of they are theirs.
Yeah, we've been trying to find out about the Galway development team, and I know it's, a lot of football towns in Galway that are trying to promote hurling, and it's mainly for any kind of, I guess, junior standard player that hasn't been involved on a Galway county team or intercounty team at any level. So they'll still be all right. They're going to be decent standards. I know they got good management in. So, but look, our main thing is just, the only thing we're thinking about right now is playing Longford and getting over that hurdle, hopefully, and then we'll think about Galway after that.
What is the schedule? What's the date what's the date of your first game? Who are you playing? And what's it from there? It's going to be wrapped up within a couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah. So we played Monday. We're playing at 5:00 in the centre on Monday, 5:00. We play Longford. If we get over Longford, then the semi-final is on the Wednesday against the Galway development team. And you get over that, you're in the final on Saturday. But if you lose the semi-final, you actually play a shield final on Saturday. So if you win your first game, you're involved for the whole week.
All right.
You lose your first game, you're out of the competition. So the first game is, it's the main focus for us right now.
So it's not really a league in the traditional sense, is it? It's
a knockout. It's a knockout, and there's two sides to the draw. We got Longford on our side. Galway got the bye into the semi-final, and then on the other side, you have the other 4 teams that are playing out for try to get through to the final on that side.
It's going to be a huge achievement. It's going to be great to see New York represented in Ireland. It's been the first time since 2006. Would you give us kind of the backstory as to why there hasn't been a senior hurling team over the last decade and a half, and when was the last time New York played competitively in Ireland?
So 2006 was the last time they competed in a championship. It was in the Ulster Championship. They beat Derry in New York, and at that stage, the team couldn't travel home, so they eventually ended up. Antrim agreed to come and play them here, and they played in, I can't remember, was it Boston or Chicago, but they lost the final to Antrim, and there hasn't been a team that has played an inter-county game since then. In 2013, we travelled home, all right, for the Gathering, it was called. Aer Lingus sponsored it, and teams came from all over the world to play in that. So I guess that was the last time a group of guys came together to represent New York at the senior level.
Yeah.
That was just like a little blitz competition, and it was great. I was involved. It was great week for the guys again. But this is the first time that we're going to go toe to toe with another county, full setup. Team and management. I guess the reasons behind it have been, I guess, legality. You'll probably see it too. There's a lot more boys able to travel now than there was 10 years ago. And I don't know the full reasoning for it, but it seems a lot easier for guys to get visas or, get themselves over and back. That's one of the reasons. The other reason, I guess, we've, back then, New York hurlers were involved in Ulster. Since then, they haven't been involved really with any province. the footballers were always involved with Connacht, so all the correspondence, all the meetings have been between our board and the Connacht board. And, I guess that's where we focused on. Then when I came in as chair, my focus was trying to get into Connacht into some kind of competition. And, we were lucky that last year, it was the first year of this Connacht Hurling League. So, I guess it's down to a bit of luck with that, that we were just in the right place at the right time, I guess. And, we're going to take whatever we can get. So,
and they've been very helpful, the Connacht board, haven't they? They've been over and back trying to. They've taken a few training sessions, as you said. You met with them earlier this year. Like, how helpful have they been to the development?
Yeah, so Damien's been, he's the Connacht Hurling Development Officer. Well, he was his tenure is up at the end of this year. He's after taking a position with Offaly Hurling. But there's another man, Cathal Craig, that came out with Damien too. Also very helpful. And they've been coming over, putting on hurling seminars and stuff like that for coaches and both for players. They have been helpful in this whole process,
So what's the team's goal going into the Connacht League, and just to get a result on the board?
No, to be honest with you, Mike, I'd be pushing to win the competition. And that's not being, being honest. We have a lot of boys that would have played All-Ireland finals at minor level, at under-21 level. They've come out of their counties with their clubs. They've played at high enough levels. We should be competing. I guess a bit of tongue in cheek. If we were going home tomorrow to play this weekend, I'd be happy. But the break, that's my only fear right now is the break. Our boys have to go home. They're already started going home for they have plans for Christmas. They have families at home they want to be with. So I think half are going to be gone by the weekend. We'll have half here, and they'll start travelling. Every day from here on until the competition. That's the only thing that's going to bother us a little bit. Guys are going to have to do their own work. They're going to have to try and stay out of the bar. It's going to be, it's their commitment now. We've done what we can on this side. We've hit it hard. We knew that it was going to be a three game week for us. Hopefully, that's what we've done since October, is met 3 times a week, and just trying to get that into their heads. Anytime we've played a challenge game or a practice game, we've tried to do a 35-minute half, because that's a big thing that we don't do here. It's all 30 minutes. That 5 minutes at the end of a game is massive. But like I said, in the long run and in my dreams, I want to come away with a trophy from this. But our main focus is just get over on and be involved for the week. Yeah,
fantastic. That's great to hear. So just I must say it's very commendable to the lads who have tried out. I know you had to cut the panel down to 26 to finish, when was it, the final September, the season finish over the summer, to basically do a pre-season again. And then play the first week of January, and then you're going to be breaking again. It's not as if you're going into championship season next year and we'll roll into the summer championship here. You're breaking again, and it is a big commitment. And fair play to the lads that that turned up, togged out, or went out. And I must. And you said you've been getting a good commitment from the lads. The training has been excellent. Tell us. You said you trained 3 times a week. When did you first meet up? How many fellas were there? And when did you cut the panel down?
So we met the middle of October. I guess we got the initial emails from Connacht that we were going to be included the start of October. So I know Joan and the county board had to put a panel together fairly sharp. So there was a panel in place, as we spoke about before, for trying to get into the Lorry Market competition. So they put it to us to take on this responsibility. So on the panel of management, there's me, Toby Kavanagh, Eamonn Fitzgerald, who is the Hurling Development Officer, and Alan Gleeson. So that's the team and selectors. And then we got Sean Kelly in. He's Sean Kelly from Tralee, because I know there's a Sean Kelly from Leitrim too, but Sean Kelly from Tralee, he's our SNC. He's his own little gym up in Yonkers. So since mid-October, we had 41 guys came in, and we kept the 41 guys for, I guess, 6 weeks. Not saying that we'd 41 every night of training, but we'd between 36 and whatever up to 40 some nights. And it was great. Like, it was unbelievable level of commitment, and everyone that did commit was 100% gung-ho for it. Like, so it was tough when it came around to, like, unfortunately we don't have the I guess what the teams have at home, where like Longford probably won't have to cut their 26 until 2 days before the competition, or the Friday before it or the Saturday before it. Whereas because we have flights and accommodation and all that stuff sorted out, we had to do it 6 weeks before the competition. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. And luckily, touch wood, we've had no injuries. So the 26 that we whittled down to have all come true, and they're all good as of now. But yeah, trains have been very good. Eamonn, like I said, brought a lot. Toby, who's manager of Tipperary out here, his trains are great. He's a great hurling man. Alan Gleeson was involved the last time we had a team in 2006. Alan played in goals for that team. And then, like, I'm involved with Waterford, and Sean Kelly, who was involved with us with Waterford as well this year. He's vast knowledge coming from his soccer background and being a professional all the time. Like, it's, in fairness to the county board, and they get a lot of criticism, and I've criticised them in the past about they don't back hurling as much as they back football. They've actually helped us out, with this, like, and they are pushing it, and they've booked us into the best hotel they could find near the centre, and it's great to see hurling being backed in the town now. So
yeah. And Sean there he's manager at the Lansdowne Yonkers as well, isn't he?
Lansdowne Boys. Yeah, I saw they just qualified there during
they know
the week.
plenty about silverware, so
they do.
Every time I check them online, they're winning something.
I think they win 3 years without losing. I think it's something. Hopefully he can bring that to Waterford now. It'd be ideal.
Yeah. Tell me about your panel, Richie. So, like, there is obviously a lot of fellas who were involved in senior hurling last year. I know people will be wanting to know. I think Johnny Glynn is injured; he's not involved this year, is he?
Yeah.
Mark Ellis is another guy not involved. So, the fellas who are involved, tell us what's the spine of your team. Some of the main players there.
I guess, like, to be honest with you, Mike, we met as a management group last Thursday, and we tried to pick a starting 15, and we spent 4 hours and we couldn't do it. There are so many places up for grabs in the team, and it's it's unbelievable. Like you have 26 guys, and just trying to name 15 is going to be really tough. But we do have a few boys that have, there's 1 or 2 boys have All Ireland medals at minor level. There's boys obviously that have senior championship medals at Waterford. There's boys that have senior championship medals from their own clubs at home. But in regards to the squad, I know the guys that are managing the Facebook page and the Instagram page, they released all the player bios and player profiles over the last week. So if anyone wants to go on and check out the whole squad, it's up there. But we've boys from everywhere, like from Galway to Antrim down to Waterford. They're from all over, like, so.
Yeah, there's a few there. There's Brian McPartland there for Westmeath is there. I see some of the names there in the forwards. David Mangan, Westmeath as well, and Waterford, your own Aidan Organ there. You've got plenty of players there that.
And like that's it as well. Every club in New York is represented too. Like, so, you have everyone from a junior club, or every junior club and every senior club is represented on the team. Like, so.
I know, sure, these old numbers, which you gave them to me, 10 from Waterford, 7 from Westmeath, 4 from Hoboken, 3 from Tip, 1 from Limerick, and 1 from Clare. Is it something that's about right, is it?
That's it. No, that's it. That's it right there.
Is it a low enough number there for Hoboken, Richie, given that they've been...
I guess it is, Mike, but a lot of their guys, I guess they signed full transfer guys this summer, and they were full transfers, but they were also guys that they were only here for the summer, so they're not around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saying that, there is, obviously it's a county team, and the 26 we have, unbelievable. There is guys, like you mentioned, Mark Ellis, Johnny Glynn, there's a few other guys that could have been in and around on the panel, but with visas or with prior commitments and stuff, they couldn't commit. And like, I suppose, we're so grateful for the 41 that did show up. But it was a short period of time. Like, we found out in October, and we're playing a big competition the first week of January.
Yeah. And it's tough in the winter months, like, isn't it? And then you've got the Christmas break and whatever. So what's what have you had much access to Gaelic Park?
Like, I'll get back to the county board. They gave us the park. It's tough. We don't have any water there, so we bring in water every night. The water got shut down maybe 4 weeks ago, so there's no showers, there's no bathrooms. They put in a couple of portaloos for us, so but it's the main thing is getting the AstroTurf, and the lights. It's you can't beat that, because we're going to be playing an AstroTurf.
Of course, in the dome.
So it's a big bonus to have that.
And fellas will be well used to playing on the Astro, so it is kind of if there is any kind of advantage, fellas have been playing on it all year.
We have. So I guess that's where we are with that.
And has it been Tuesday, Thursday in the park, and then a session, a strength and conditioning session? I saw some of the videos there that you're doing some gym work as well. Is that the way it's rolled out?
So some nights we all meet. We've been watching the weather too, because it is cold, and if it's going to be wet and cold, we forget about the field straight away, and we all go to Shawnee's place, and we're so lucky to have that option. But if the weather's going to hold up, we'll bring Shawnee to the field, and Eamonn might take a couple of drills, Toby will take a few drills, Shawnee might take a few drills. It's great just to have the change up, and have the right guys involved in it. It makes it so much easier.
So for the footballers, I know always the challenge has been trying to get challenge games when you're trying to approach a competitive game. So have you been, when you had to cut it down to 26, how have you been doing challenge matches? Have you just in-house, and how difficult has that been?
We were lucky. We had a team out from Dublin to play a challenge game, St. Kevin's. So that was one challenge game that we did get. But every other challenge game since then has just been, and I'm so grateful for the 41 that came. We've been able to get them back to do the challenges.
Really? Wow.
There was no one, which shows how much the guys that came in love hurling, and they're willing to do for New York Hurling to come back. Even though they're not in the 26, but they came back to play the challenge games. So we've been mixing it up and playing 15 on 15. We've had probably 2 or 3 games. We got the last challenge we had, we actually got it recorded just so that we've something to go back on ourselves and that, so but I just mentioned all those boys that came back and helped us out for that. It means a lot.
So in terms of what's happening now, in terms of the travel, you were saying some fellas are gone home, some fellas are staying here. What dates are you flying out? And I doubt it, but are any of these games going to be televised or streamed or anything that we can?
Yeah, we actually got the program of the day. It says that all games will be streamed on Connacht GA. So hopefully nothing goes wrong there, and they are streamed, because I know there will be a lot of people invested in it. I know that the dome itself holds 3,000 people, and New York, every time they go home, we're going to draw a crowd. You have people pulling from all over the country. You also have friends, people that went to college with, and I'm sure we're going to have a big crowd there behind us on the Monday against Longford.
It's actually a great time to have it as well. People are going to be meeting up here in New York. People are meeting at home. Have it on the screen there. Like New York hurlers are playing. It's great. It's a great opportunity to kind of market the team. Yeah,
and the hotel that we're staying in is I think it's 15 minutes away from the centre. It's actually not a bad time of year for people that are coming to see these games to get even in the same hotel as the players or whatever, because of the time of year. It's just after Christmas. I'm sure it will be a quiet period for hotels and stuff. So we're actually staying in the MacWilliam Park in Clare Morris. That's the hotel we're in. So
so what date are you all meeting up, and go through the schedule there again for us and the time, so that we're
so everyone's going home different dates and whatnot. Obviously some will be on the same flights, but we're all going to meet up the morning of the game on the 2nd. The first game in the hotel, we'll meet up in the lobby or whatever. They'll give us a room there, and we'll give all the guys their gear. We got some gear out here. We left most of it at home, Mike, because if we got it all out here, I'm sure some of it wouldn't travel back and whatnot. So all the guys get their gear there. We'll let them all go to their rooms, and we'll come down. We'll probably have a pre-match meeting, maybe a stretch, have a meal, and then probably get a bus or cars. We'll figure that out over to the dome. There's a game on before us and there's a game on after us. So I know there's other fields outside that we can do our work on, just depending on how cold it is over there.
Yeah.
But our pre-game stuff and get that going. But they're going to give us 20 minutes of a warm up on the field before our game anyway. So
it's much longer than you get at Gaelic Park in the summer.
Yeah.
So
that's
you'll be lucky to get 20 seconds there some days.
Straight from the dressing room into the but yeah, so I guess that's kind of day one. But yeah, we're all meeting that day, and that's basically it. And then, like I said previously, we need to get over Longford. If we don't, we have other plans in place. Like, we have an itinerary set for the week. We'll probably bring the guys out Tuesday, do something maybe in Galway. I don't know the full thing, but we've blocks set to fill. And hopefully, if we get through Monday, let them play Wednesday. Again, we'll get off. We'll give them a day off Thursday maybe, and come back for the final on Friday and Saturday. So.
And in terms of costs, Richie, how is do fellas have to contribute a certain amount of money? Is the county board, like, funds are tight obviously in this economy?
Yeah.
Can you give us some insight into who's financing this trip?
So before we finish, I wanted to give a big shout out to a man called Mike Hines. His son is actually playing. He's involved on the panel, Dara Hines. But Mike actually came to me and said that he wanted to, he knew we were travelling, and he said he'd help out. And we did a New York supporters pool, it's called. Basically, it was like a $500 pool, and we keep 50%, we give out 50% of it. And Mike came in with that idea. It was a great idea. We're actually going to have a logo. Instead of having like a sponsor on our top, we're going to have Friends of New York. That's what the pool was called. So everyone that bought a box is represented by that.
All right, brilliant.
So it was a great idea. And between Mike, the players, the management team, we sold all the boxes. I actually think Mike sold probably 50% from himself.
Wow.
I just want to thank him for that as well. Like, it's something he didn't have to do, but he did it, and it's a massive help in fundraising for this.
So is it a pool in the sense that the ICD, the NFL pools?
Yeah, same as that. Yeah, so like, whoever has the right numbers, it's 100 square grid.
Yeah.
Whoever has the number for the home team and the away team, the final score will win the pool. So do any of the panel members have to contribute anything? It's all been covered for, or do they have to? My main thing, Mike, and I'm sure Johnny McGeaney will be the same to footballers. Look, when you get to senior level, in my eyes, it's a reward. You shouldn't be asked to go out and fundraise, to be able to go out and represent New York. You're already after doing the shift and the work for your club. This is your reward. You're after being called into your county team. Your focus should be to work on your body, work on your hurling, and go out and play for New York. There's lots of people, the older guys, the backroom team. We can look after the fundraising. That's one of my things. Like, I understand for underages and stuff like that, but once you get to senior level, you should be looked after. You shouldn't have to look after yourself, and that's my opinion, and that's what I try to invest in the guys. But I think by doing that, once we set up the pool, the boys went out and sold boxes anyway. So that's the way they are. Like, they're a good bunch of lads. So,
my question is, did they have to fork out anything from their own pocket? They just sold the boxes and it's all been covered. Like, it's a great relief to have.
So what it does is, like, by raising this amount of money, we're able to cover $500 of everyone's flight. That's where we're at right now. If there's money left over, we'll cover the balance. But like, at the time we picked the panel, flights were going for maybe $625, $650. So it wasn't bad. Some were $580. Even before that, some of the guys were already booked home for Christmas, so it was only a change of flight for some guys, so it wasn't a brutal cost to us, but yeah, that's kind of where we are with that.
So do the players have to pay for the hotel and stuff? No.
No, so
Oh yeah.
the hotel's covered.
Oh yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the hotel's covered. All their transport at home will be covered. Their breakfast is covered. We'll try and cover a meal during the day for them, and they can look after themselves for their lunch or for whatever, the other meal of the day, and whatever entertainment we do at home, we'll try our best to cover as well. And that's.
But that's the great thing, and that's why it's so important to get the teams going home. I think it's you generate that interest here, and as you just gave an example, there's people out there that will put the shoulder to the wheel. They want to fundraise, they want to see New York compete, and this is why this tournament is going to be so important for New York. And I really hope you give it a good rattle. To be honest,
yeah. Hopefully, like I said, it's a builder, Mike. But
yeah.
It's a builder, but it's still something we want to win, So we'll go home, we'll give it a good shot, and hopefully we show a good enough count for ourselves to be involved in Lower Maher maybe next year or the year after. But like I said in our previous podcast, we're going to have to try and get into Croke Park or talk to whoever we need to talk to about changing the format of Lower Maher, because it used to be 2 groups of 3, which would accommodate us, but right now it's a group of 6, which would mean 5 games, and that's kind of going home once or twice we can manage, but going home 4 or 5 times it would be a struggle.
Yeah, and it would be good to get teams out here as well if that was possible.
Exactly. Like hopefully doing this too will show. Look, if a club wins their county championship or a county wants to travel, we have a team right here that'll give any team a challenge. So we're here. We'll get a team together to face whoever they want to bring out.
Yeah, fair play, Richie. Fair play. And one question I wanted to ask: I know a lot of people will be interested to know how many American-born players are on the team. There's not that many. I think there's only 1 or 2. You were saying, but there's a good reason for that too, isn't there?
Yeah. So I guess the first we have one full American-born, James Breen. Then we have 5 guys that have American passports. Some of them were American-born and moved back to Ireland, came back again, or else the other guys, their parents came home with passports, and so we have 6, I think, that are American passport holders. The rest are all on visas or whatever. Like when we had the 41, Mike, we had a few guys that came in and, not saying that they would have made the 26, but they would have been very close. But they came in just to get the hurling sessions in with us, and they were away in college. Most of them were away in college on scholarships, on sports scholarships, which is amazing to see. Like one was rugby, one was American football. Whatever it was, it was class to hear their stories. But then we have a couple of guys that are doing exams over Christmas, and they come to the trainings. And then the other thing was the college football team is just started training now as well. And there's a few guys that are committed to that it's just back to our old scenario, football over hurling,
It's James Breen is the only American-born, is it?
Yeah. He's the only. Him and I think Johnny Power came through the minor board too, but he moved home for a few years and came back. So
and I think you were saying Joey Grace, Garrow Kennedy might have been 2. That would have been so it's there is a talent pool there of American-born players as well.
Oh, there is definitely, Mike. And like they will get rewarded too. Like I know we're going to send the World Games team home in the middle of summer, whenever that is on. But they'll all be going for that, unless something comes in the way again or whatever. But
where is that on next year, Richie?
I actually don't know. I think it's back in Dublin again. I know it was Waterford last time, but I think it's back in this time. But we can confirm that.
Richie, Eamonn Fitzgerald has come in there to look after their hurling development officer. Came in over the summer. How big of an influence has he been to the setup and in hurling in general here in New York?
One word, unbelievable, Mike. Like what he's done. He's come in. I guess the main thing with Eamon is like his age. A lot of guys take this position out of college or out of whatever, it's they come to, travel and get stuff under the belt. But Eamon's done it at top level at home with Kerry and with IT Tralee. And when he saw the position go up on Crow Park website or wherever he saw it, he just said, look, I want to give this a shot. Like, so
Yeah.
he's come out all guns blazing, and I know a few of the meetings he attended at the start of the year. He was like, "Look, I want to do hurling blitz now. I want to do one Saturday. I want to do," and it was like, the board were like, "We don't do hurling on Saturdays," and he was like, "Why? Like, what are you talking about? Is there a rule in New York you can't do a hurling blitz on a Saturday?" So, he just came out with that mentality, and
Yeah.
I remember a Thursday night I went up to Rockland with my young fella. He was under sevens, and the whole field was wedged with kids, and it was the first time I'd seen that with hurling. I'd seen it with football plenty of times, but it was a Thursday night in Rockland, and there was, I'd say, 140, 150 kids there playing hurling, like from under 7 to under 13. And it kept continuing like that, and he started going around to all the clubs on different nights of the week and promoting his training to the other managers and the other coaches there, and taking the kids while he was there at the same time. But like, he set up WhatsApp groups between, the head coaches in every team,
Yeah.
and email trades, and he has a newsletter for hurling just to let everyone know where hurling's at and what's going on. And it's just been great to see. Like,
Where can you get that? Could you get that on the New York website?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on the New York website, yeah. And then I guess one thing that's kind of been missing was the link in hurling between the minor board and the senior board. And Eamon is running the minor board things, and he's come in as a selector on the senior board. And like, obviously, me, I'm mental about hurling, and I want to see it promoted in every way possible. So like the last 2 weekends, he set up a Christmas hurling camp, and it was Sunday 2 weeks ago, and then last Saturday, and he asked me, like, he's like, "Do you think the boys would help out if we asked them?" And I was like, 100% put it in the group. And we got 7 or 8 guys the first weekend at it, and 6 or 7 guys I think last Saturday. And it's just great for the kids to see, like, even the parents coming out, and they see I'm not just bringing my kid here and it's a big cold field. There's 1 or 2 guys here training them or whatever. Yeah. There was nearly as many coaches as there was kids, and it was just unbelievable. Like the boys egging them on and having games and pushing them, and it's it's something that Eamon's brought, and I hope the man stays here for a long time, and keep that side of it going. But saying that, like, I just want to give credit to, like, from the Kayla side where my young fella's involved, like the Kennedys, Lawrence and Marie, the 2 boys, Philip Wickham, John Larkin. They're the guys I see all the time because they're over the age groups that I would be at. But like, they've been pushing it. Like Mike Kennedy, massive hurling man too. Like, he's great for pushing hurling. But those guys, we just needed someone like Eamon to come out in the position he's in. Just his position is to focus on hurling, and that's unbelievable. Like, to have that, because then he can get all the ideas off everyone that's working at other stuff and whatever, and we can all get in behind him and push that through. Like,
So that's a new role. So that was created. That he stepped into.
It was in existence. We had Mickey Quigg out, who was unbelievable ambassador for hurling too, but unfortunately with visa issues and whatever, Mickey had to step aside. And I know he's pushing hurling at home now in Ulster again. But it's great. Like, Eamon's got himself sorted here now, and it's so much help, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it seems all the structures are in place. Well, a lot of structures are being put in place, Richie. Sounds like hurling is in a good place. In New York, you've got the underage. Seems to be a big appetite. There's a big appetite there at senior level. Junior hurling over the summer, all the games are good. Hurling seems to be in a good spot right now in New York.
Yeah, it's in the best state, Mike, that it's been in since I've been here. I got here in 2008. So it's great to see it. And look, hopefully we can go home and win this competition, and hopefully come back with a bit of silverware for New York. Like, it would be great.
Yeah, and I think you've a christening coming up as well.
I have actually. The competition finishes on the 7th, so I told all the boys if we win a trophy, they're all welcome to come down to my daughter's christening in Kerry on the Sunday, because I'm bringing the trophy. I don't care who's captain. I'm taking the trophy down to Kerry.
And she'll be christened in the trophy, is it?
That's it, or I'll give it to the priest. You can fill it with holy water or whatever we have to do.
All right, sounds great, Richie. And hopefully you'll be bringing that silverware back to the Big Apple in the new year. Best of luck to you, the selectors, and all the panel.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka too?
And that's all for this week. Let us know what you think by leaving us a comment on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter at The Long Haul Podcast, or visit our website, thelonghaulpodcast.com, where you can find plenty of New York GAA stories and match reports. There's also a story about Donal Gallagher's passing and the saving of the American Irish Historical Society building on 5th Avenue. Richie also mentioned the 2023 World Games in the podcast. That competition will take place in Derry at the end of July, with the finals being at Croke Park. We'd appreciate if you could rate and subscribe to the podcast. This would ensure that we can get even more episodes to you more often. Slán go fóill, and thanks for listening.
And when we got inside the house, the drinks were passed around. The liquor was so awful strong, my head went round and round to me away. You Santy, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka to me way? You Santy, my dear Annie, oh, you New York girls, can you dance the polka?